n8n Cloud has a maximum number of executions you could run every single month. For the starter plan, it's 2,500. In this video, I'm going to show you a quick hack on how you can get a bunch of these for free. So I have 3 different workflows here. One is blank. The other 2 have hour scheduled triggers. So every hour, this workflow is going to run. Now, obviously, with 2 of them, every hour, we're going to use 2 executions. There is a way to make it so every single scheduled execution will only take up 1 and not the number of workflows you're running. So if we have 100 different workflows every hour that are running, it should take 1 instead of 100. Now, in order to do this, we have to use sub-workflows, which do not count towards that limit. I'm going to go ahead and delete these triggers in these 2 workflows. I'm going to add in a sub-workflow. So we're going to select the trigger here, and under input data mode, we're going to change this to accept all data. Because we're not passing anything in, we don't care about the input data. Then we're going to go ahead and publish this. And then over here, we could do the same thing. Execute sub-workflow as a trigger, accept all incoming data, and publish. Now within the scheduler, we're going to add in our schedule trigger. This will be the single only schedule trigger. Set this every hour. We're going to name it every hour as well. Now there's a couple ways you could do this. If you only have a couple workflows that you want to schedule, you can just execute the sub-workflow like this. We're going to go ahead and select video 1. And then under options, we want to disable wait for workflow completion. Then we can go ahead and add another one, which will obviously be very similar, except in this case, video 2. And we're going to disable this option as well. Now in this case, every hour, we're now going to use 1 workflow execution and not 2. That's great. Now what happens if you have a lot of these? And also, how do we solve the problem of the maximum concurrent executions, which the plans have as well? For example, we can only have 5 workflows running at the same time on the starter plan. There is a solution. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these 2. I'm going to head over to this module. I'm going to add a tag. We're going to click on Manage Tags. I'm going to click on Add New, and I'm going to call this every hour. Space in between it, capital E, capital H. It's important you remember exactly how you type this. Click on Create Tag. Click on Done. Now we can assign this tag over here. This is video 1. Over to video 2, we don't see it, so we have to refresh. And then we can assign the same tag right here as well. Great, so now both workflows have that tag. Now here we're going to add in a new node called n8n, and we're going to look for Get Many Workflows. Within here, under Filters, we're going to add in tags. This has to directly match every hour, spelled exactly how you typed it. In my case, capital E, capital H, space in between. We also want to only return published workflows. So if a workflow is disabled or archived, we don't want to return it because we shouldn't try and run it. Now with that said, we can go over to sub-workflow, and we're going to execute a sub-workflow. Now, obviously, we need to execute the previous node so we can actually see the data. And then under the workflow from list, we want to change this to from ID. Go over to the ID right over here on the left, drag that in. Now, what we have here is run once with all items. We want to change the mode to run once for each item. Now, very important that we have this feature right here enabled. Wait for sub-workflow completion. It's enabled by default, so we can go ahead and delete this. But if you disabled this, it would run every single workflow that has the tag of every hour at the same time. And then we could potentially run into our concurrent execution limit. So we do want to make sure this is enabled, which again is default. We can go ahead and delete it. Now with that said, I can go ahead and click on Execute Workflow. And now it runs with these 2 items right here. Now, if you want more tips and tricks on n8n, if you want support with vibe coding or your n8n automations, and also access to a bunch of templates, check out my school community linked in the description and the